Welcome to the hot seat. We are live from Florida, Louisiana. We took this down the road. We are out here. The heat is not that bad. It's the humidity that's stifling. So we got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. We just want to talk about some of the issues going on in Moreno Valley because people have been asking me, where is Donovan Sadiq? What's he doing? Well, my son graduated, so thank everybody for the well wishes. It's been a long time coming. He's going to Hampton University. I'm a very, very proud father, and now he's a grown man, and he will enter the world and do and be as successful as he can possibly be. Greatest thing for me is that I'm no longer legally responsible, so that's a plus for me. So it's been a long time coming. 18 years old, and I'm very proud of my son. But now, everybody's been asking me this LaDonna Jimson question and the election coming up in November. Victoria Baca is on the prowl, and she is intent to be a martyr and use the LaDonna Jimson felony as an example of, see, I wasn't charged with the crime, but this woman was, and she's a felon, and she's going to, make it feel like the recall was unjust. Now, I've been telling people from day one, the recall was very just on Victoria Baca. And the reasons I've named several times. And everybody has to realize that when you have a recall over your head and you're labeled a recall candidate, of course you can run for your seat again, but for some reason you were fired and you had your opportunity. But Ms. Baca doesn't seem to agree with that. As you guys all know, she worked for Highland Fairview and Ito Bendizi. Her vote was right down the line with what Highland Fairview wanted. The funny thing is, Chris Baca seems to have seen the light, so he says, and is doing an end around. I don't trust it personally, and that's my personal opinion, but you have to be the judge. You have to decide for yourself. That is what the hot seat and news from Edgemont is about. I'm not here to convince you. I've said all along, do your homework. All of these people are 360 degrees of association. They are all related in some way. And we have to find candidates that are not about the bullcrap. And in our district, 5th district, we have to hold our district and find an ethical candidate to represent us. Now, LaDonna Jimson has said she is not going to resign and she is not going to step down. Who does that sound like? 2 years ago, I think Victoria Baca said the same thing. She did nothing wrong. And that's true. She didn't do anything wrong above board. But don't get it confused, people. Victoria Baca is a criminal. She pled to a misdemeanor. So by record and by fact, she's a criminal. A misdemeanor criminal, but she broke the law nonetheless. And, and I know they try to spin it, and they try to spin it, and they try to spin it again. If you go back, or even if you call the district attorney, the investigation is not closed. Victoria Baca is going to try to sell you that. She's going to try to tell you that. Everybody that's with her is saying there was nothing came of it. The district attorney will tell you, if you call them, if you have credible information that is strong enough for them to continue with the case, they will do so. This case is not closed. They are monitoring. And how do I know that? Because come July 15th, as I've been telling you guys, there is a case right now that Victoria Baca is involved in. And it has to do with embezzlement with the Committee M. Go look it up. There's a video of me downtown Riverside at the courthouse, and I told you what happened. It was continued. So here's a candidate that is recalled, and she is continually involved in criminal activity. And I've been telling the treasurer of her Committee M to take this issue to trial. And here's the funny thing. The Bacas left this lady holding the bag, and now they don't want to cooperate. not Chris, not the daughter, Elena, not Victoria. They do not want to cooperate with the investigation. How do you charge somebody and say, this person did me wrong, and then now you don't want to cooperate? So, you got to make up your own mind, people. Victoria Baca, her recall was justified, had nothing to do, a little bit of the corruption that had something to do with it, because she was under an investigation. Now, was she innocent or guilty? That's not for me to say, and I never said if she was or not. I have my suspicions. Follow the money. Where did she get her money in the last election? The last recall election, she got $156,000 or something like that from Highland Fairview and Ito Bendizi. So follow the money. Now, LaDonna Jimson, open and honest and transparent government, we found out that wasn't the case. So now what do my critics have to say about what I've been saying? Sounds like I'm on the right track. And now she won't step down. Isn't it funny how power corrupts? Absolutely. And that's what I've been trying to tell everybody. And I know I'm out here, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I met with my grandfather, 93 years old this year, tank battalion in World War II. I mean, it's just he's still a spry guy. 93 years old, and he's still driving a church. Pretty scary, but hey, he can do it. I can only pray that I be blessed to live as long. And with what's going on in Moreno Valley, I mean, I'm getting so tired that, hey, it's an enigma. It'll give you a headache just thinking about it. So everybody's been asking me and emailing me and messaging me because it seems like I've been missing in action. I'm not missing in action. It is graduation time, and I've been spending time with my family and visiting as much as I can. I went to my hometown's Veterans Memorial, and I saw some of the... I have so many cousins and family in that town. It's just ridiculous. But very nice memorial. It's still not finished, but I'm just blessed to have been able to go and actually be there and see the memorial. And, as I was doing it, I have an uncle that I guess I'm an identical twin to this uncle of mine. He's Uncle Wayne. And everybody kept calling me as if I was him. And then when I walked up, and I guess they saw the way I talked or whatever, they're like, "Oh, you're not Wayne," whatever it is. But it's just real funny. It's a small town. Everybody knows each other, and that's that country mentality. So I'm looking forward to getting back home to California and get back into the drama. Election season is opening. Reminder: July 1st is the hot seat. We are going to have a great show. It premieres July 1st, but we're going to record for Sundays during the election season at 6 p.m. so that you guys can see, and we're going to vet these candidates and have them on there and really show who they are. Now, Victoria Baca, I don't know the situation. Brian Lowell, don't know the situation. But all these people who do not want to come on the show, you're more than welcome and invited to be. Because we want to know where you stand. And when you come on the show, it isn't necessarily a gotcha show. Put your platform out there, and we want to know where you stand. Where are you getting your money? Who do you work for? Do you work for us, or do you work for Ito Bendizi in Highland Fairview? And speaking of my friend Ito Bendizi, I have always said from day one, a businessman is not going to do business unless he could make money. Yes, it's true. I have Ito's number, and if I need clarification on something, I can easily call Ito and say, "Hey, what's the situation on this, or what's the situation on that?" I've even invited him on the hot seat. So let me just clarify that and clear that up. So that's no rumor there. That I've always had that. I debated him in the last election cycle, and again, a businessman. I'm not mad at him as a businessman for what he does. That's what he's supposed to do. He is using the laws for the benefit of himself and Highland Fairview. I'm not mad at that aspect. I'm mad at the fact that we can't see a pattern of behavior that is detrimental to the citizens of Moreno Valley. When you're buying our elections and you're buying our politicians, and that's my opinion, because when you put $250,000 into a candidate, that candidate's going to do what you tell them to do. I have a problem with that because the average person in Moreno Valley can't compete with that. And that's one of the problems. So some of the emails that I've been getting is, well, Donovan, we need to know, are you going to run? And that's another reason why I'm out here taking this show on the road, talking to different areas. And there's no more corrupted state than the Big Easy, Louisiana. So I'm getting advice from people who've been there, done that. And I'm going to tell you, it's very interesting, and politics is very interesting. But I want everybody to look at some of these candidates. Now, LaDonna has made a revelation and has now turned the electorate against her. But I'm not the one to say I told you so, but I told you so. Now, the question is, what is Donovan Sadiq going to do? And right now, we are still trying to decide. And that's another reason why I had to get away and really think, because I do believe if I ran in the election, I have a very good chance of winning. But remember a couple of months ago, I told everybody there's a bounty on my head to keep me from being elected. Now, if LaDonna actually thinks she's going to win this election, she's sadly mistaken. And I'm going to go on record and say that. I've said 360 degrees of association, correct? Every time you see a picture in public of just about every time, you're going to see LaDonna Jimson and Denise Fleming, all, these people. And these people are all associated. There is an agenda. And they know that I know, and they want me to stop ringing the alarm bell. The agenda has already been set. The Inland Empire is now the warehouse empire. And these politicians are now cashing in. They're getting their money and they're leaving. And they're leaving those of us who cannot escape here in Moreno Valley to deal with the problems. We have to stop electing our friends and people who do not have the experience or the savvy to know what they're looking at. So the question is, what's Donovan going to do? I think if I was like some of these politicians, I would be jumping right now because I'm the only other known name that could be on that ballot. But you know what? There is somebody else. And I've contacted that person because here's the thing, people. What I'm doing right now gives me a voice for you, a voice for me. And it's beneficial to you because I keep waking that alarm and keeping you informed. Now, this is something that I'm doing out of my own pocket, out of my own expense. It keeps me active in the community. And it serves the community. It serves the people. If I was a politician and an opportunist, Johnny Come Lately, Denise Fleming, Brian Lowell, I can go on and on, Gutierrez, Mayor Gutierrez, so-called Mayor Gutierrez. But I'm not that person. Right? If you've seen what I'm about, I am consistent. At least I try to be. I feel that I try to do the right thing. And I'm not going to flounder from that. The difference between me and a lot of candidates is my memories are from pre-Moreno Valley, not post, pre. The racetrack, the way it used to be. And I'm all for change. But that's almost like me telling you, here's your childhood home. We're going to bulldoze it. Okay? I want the right kind of change. I want the right kind of jobs. Yes, I could jump in there and be an opportunist and say, yep, there's nobody else but Donovan. But if I do that, the worst thing I think right now, as I'm thinking, I'm not saying I'm not going to run. I'm thinking the worst thing that can happen to me is to get elected, because then that voice would be silenced. What do you think? Give me an email, give me a shout out. I'll read it on the show as soon as I get back. I want you guys to think about that. And that's the quandary that I'm in right now. If I run as a council person and I win as a council person, I can't speak anymore. I can't do the show the way that I want to do it. On this show, yeah, we've got executive producers and people telling me what to do, but pretty much it's my show. I'm the host. I want to get more behind the cameras. I want to do things for the Inland Empire and Moreno Valley as a whole. So think about that. there has to be a candidate that we can support and get behind to lead us, to help lead us out of this warehouse madness. And that's the quandary that I'm in. I'm not doing this for the money. If I was doing it for the money, I would be having my signs, everything out there, and I'm going to jump on it. But always remember this. In an election, you can always write in a candidate. So if I decide not to run and you just can't vote for certain people and I am called by a majority of the citizens, I will do what I need to do. But right now, I think I serve you guys better with this show and calling these politicians and staff out and giving you a voice to come on the show and put it out there. So give me an email, give me a shout. I'll be home soon. This is Donovan Sadiq. I am on the road in Slidell, Louisiana. All right, we are out. And you know what I do. I know you can't see it, but Donovan Sadiq is out.